Good morning, grade ones. I hope you have been having great fun trying to move the B-boat around. For the past 4 weeks, we have been moving Mr. B-boat. We have been instructing Mr. B-boat. We started by learning how to instruct Mr. B-boat to move forward, to turn right, to turn left. Then we moved on to telling Mr. Beaboot to explore his town. And then last week, Mr. Beaboot was exploring his village. Now, as I told you, sadly, this week we have to say bye to Mr. Beaboot for some time. So today we're going to look at something different. We are not going to instruct Mr. Beaboot. We will take a break from Mr. Beaboot and then we will move to something else. So what are we going to do this week? We are going to learn how to use apps on the computer to draw and to write. So to type, when you're using a computer, you type. So today we will start by using a computer app to draw. I know you're used to drawing using paper and pencil. But today, Miss Bohr has a surprise. We're going to draw on our computers. So let's see how that works. If you go to your Google Classroom, Ms. Bohr has put a link to ABCYA again, or ABC. So you click on the link and it will bring you to this page here. And what do you do when you reach here? You click the play button. And it takes you there. It is called ABCYA Paint, and it gives us a white plain screen to paint on. Now, some of you, as I said in my help video, have been having trouble opening ABCYA through the link. So I'm just going to quickly take you through another short way of opening ABCYA. So if you are on Google, if you are in Google, on whichever browser you are using, you have to go to the address box here. You see where there's a blinking line? And you type abcya.com. And then you press enter. And when you do that, it takes you straight to this page. And on this page, you go to your class. So which grade are we? Good, we are in grade 1. So you click grade 1. Then it gives you another page with letters, numbers, holidays, strategy, and skill. Remember, you can use ABCYA at your own time to learn your letters, your numbers, and all that. But today, we are going to use skill. So to get our painting up, we need to go to skill, the purple one. So I click skill, and then it brings me many games. Now we're going to use this first game. It's called ABCYA Paint. So if you click on it, it takes you exactly to the same place where the link Ms. Bohr has put in your classroom takes you to. So you have to wait for it to load. See, it's loading. So you wait till it reaches 100, and then it will give you the play button. So if you click the play button, it will now bring you to this white screen. This white part is our work area. This is where we're going to draw and paint. And down here are our tools. So today we will start with 3 basic tools. We are going to learn how to use the paintbrush, and we're going to learn how to use the paint bucket, and we will learn how to undo our mistakes. How do we rub if we make a mistake? Now there's an eraser here, but I don't want you to use the eraser because the eraser will just spoil your work. There's an easy way that the computer erases your work without spoiling it. And that is this arrow here. You see this arrow, this yellow one? It is called undo. What does it do? If you make a mistake, you immediately click this arrow and it removes the mistake. So let's start with our first tool, the paintbrush. I want to paint a little girl. I want to draw and paint. Maybe Miss Bor should draw and paint a little house. Because Miss Bor is not a very good artist, she chooses easy things. So I'm going to draw a little house. What do? I click my paintbrush, and then I can change the size of the paintbrush. Can you see that? If I want it very thick, I put it there. If I want it very thin, I click this first one here. Can you see the one I click? The circle I click becomes yellow. If I want a big one, I click that one there. A big one will draw really big, really thick lines. Let me just show you. A big one will draw a thick line like that. And Miss Bor doesn't want a thick line. So how do I remove this line? I go to this yellow arrow and I click it, and then it goes away. So I'm going to use a thin line. So I need a thin brush. So I go to this smallest dot there and I click and it becomes yellow. Now if I draw now, look at my brush, it is thin. I just move, it's thin. You see that? So that's the brush I want. But before I start drawing, I need to decide which color I want to use to draw. So again, for Miss Bor, this is a mistake, so she's going to remove the mistake. What do? Go to this yellow arrow here, and I click, and it goes away. So, how do I change the color? Remember, I have chosen the brush, and here it shows me the paintbrush. I have to go to the color palette. Can you see here? I have to go to the color palette. It will give me different colors. So I click on it, and I can choose my favorite color. But Miss Bor has to first draw using black. So I first draw using black. So I will click black. And let's draw my house. Now, Miss Bor is a very poor artist, so don't laugh at me. Let's see how well I draw my house. Okay, and then I move it. And then I move it down. That is my roof. And then I go and I draw another line here. Don't laugh, Miss Bor is not good at drawing at all because she knows. Good. So that's the roof. Now I'm going to draw the walls of my house. I bring it down. Then I turn it again. Good. Then I bring that up. Now look, Miss Bor is making sure all the lines touch each other. I'm not leaving any space, and later I'll tell you why I'm not leaving any space. I make sure all the lines are touching each other. Good. Now I can decide to draw my door. My house, of course, has a door because I need to get into my house. Good. Then I can go back here and and then I go down. Now that is my house with the door. You see that? So Miss Bor has drawn her little house. But then her house looks so plain. I need to give it some color. Now I'm not going to use this paint brush to paint. I only use this brush to draw. If I want to go back and choose the tool that I use for coloring, I go to this arrow here. Can you see this? Remember there are two arrows. The one in the white box takes me back to the tools. But this one grabs mistakes. So I'm back to my tools. I'm going to choose the paint bucket. The paint bucket is the one I use to paint my house. So I go and click on it, and it also gives me the color palette. So I need to choose. Now, how do you know that you're on the correct tool? It shows you the tool you're using here. So here it's showing me I'm using the paint bucket. And if I point on the white place, it shows me a bucket. So I will always know. So I'm going to go to the color palette, and I'm going to choose a color for my roof. I'm going to have a very colorful house. So I'll have a red roof. And you simply go and put the bucket here and you click or you press the touchpad. You just press one, and you know what the bucket does? It pours paint where you want it to paint. Now remember Miss Bor said when we draw, all lines have to touch each other. If they don't touch each other, you know what will happen? The paint will pour out, the paint will run outside. So I have painted my roof. I'm going to choose another color to paint my walls. I'll choose color blue. Then I'll just go to that place and I click again. And my wall is blue. What color should I put for my door? Maybe yellow, because I like bright colors. So I'll go back to the color palette and I'll choose color yellow, and then I will click there. Now that is my little house. We have learned to use 3 simple tools today. We have learned to use the brush tool, which is the one we use to draw. And then we have learned to use the paint bucket, which we use to paint. And we also learned how to rub our mistakes. Remember, this is for rubbing the mistakes, the arrow in the yellow box. Another thing we learned how to use is the color palette. So I want you today to draw for me a simple picture and then paint it. Now, I can decide I want to put grass around my house. I can still use maybe a thick brush, and I can decide to go and choose color green, and I will just put maybe dots. I told you Miss Bor is not a very good painter, a very good artist. I can put dots. You can do what you want. You can decorate your house. Are we together? Now, you don't have to draw a house. I want you to choose for yourself what you want to draw. And when you have drawn it, this is what you will do. You will ask mommy or daddy to help you take a picture of it. using either their phone or a camera. If they can take a screenshot, that would be nice. And then they're going to send your work in Google Classroom.